Three, two, one, let's go! Yes! The first one to get in. She got involved.
This is a good day.
Yes.
I like this. This is how we needed to start.
We are now rolling at the PBE Podcast inside Icon's booth, which is called the Icon Live. And why we're here is because we're disrupting the industry. We are saying we can do better. And why aren't we doing better today? Right? That's what we're saying. And that's why we're here. We're pushing the industry. We're challenging them. And we're at SEG 2019 with Miss Maitri.
The legend.
The legend.
The
yes.
legend.
And we were on the phone the other day.
The myth.
The myth.
The myth. Not the myth yet. Not the myth yet. Currently just the legend.
Talk to us a little bit right up front about what you think of the booth.
I think this is a really... first of all, I have to say I like that my slides actually match the grain. And that was
spot on.
so coincidental.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
It was nobody informing me. But this is a really nice booth. This is a really nice space.
Right.
It's very interactive. It's great that you're...
Just bring that mic up a little bit closer.
Yeah, she doesn't want to hit...
I'm
Don't,
really...
You don't need to... Yeah, don't put your lips on that, though.
I like the shade, but it's not mine.
Okay, so academia, where did you get your degrees? What did you get going in?
So go Big Ten. University of Illinois for undergrad and Wisconsin for graduate school.
Oh,
And
so a
so-
Badger and an
Badger,
Illini, right?
Right. I go with the Badgers because,
Okay.
The Illini, not so
Yeah,
much.
The Badger football games are a little bit more
But,
fun.
great geology department, so,
Nice. So
respect.
And what were your degrees in?
So, undergrad in geology, straight up
Oh,
geology.
sweet.
Yep. And then went for my master's in structural geology.
Let's
What?
go.
Yep.
Structure's where my brain's at, so...
All of my faults are
Structure
abnormal.
Boom.
So after structural geology, I did an internship with Mobile. I was the name of my autobiography is The Last Mobile Intern.
What?
That's
That was
awesome.
the summer that Exxon bought Mobile.
Whoa.
Yes.
That's actually really cool. I
The
love that
last
fun
mobile intern.
fact. I love that.
So of course, they had beautiful seismic, and I just went to the dark side. I loved it, because they had data. And
You left the world of rocks to go to Wiggles.
Well, we're going to talk about how rocks and wiggles need to work together because what else are we here for?
Real talk.
That's right. That's right. Well, that's a really, really cool
And
perspective.
Moved on after that to combined masters in computational sciences and geophysics.
Oh, okay.
Because I recognized early on that it's important to have a broad set of skills. And we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. But it's important that not only are we geophysicists, but we have a very solid grounding in geoscience, the rocks that we
Right.
are actually
Right.
observing and trying to measure and quantify. And, of course, bring all the quantitative love,
Right.
and computing skills.
Yeah,
in
there's
there.
a major assumption being made in our industry and our concepts because we look at outcrop. We go and we sniff them and we lick them and we look
Right.
at the fossils. And we assume that it's the exact same out in the subsurface, right? When it goes underground and it's 10,000 feet deep now.
Right.
And we visualize it and we make very similar assumptions. And that's just...
It is. And but the thing is, we need to try very hard to bring what we know about rocks and the reality of rocks, as much data as possible, to that remote sensing.
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
100%.
Right.
There we go.
Oh, we got
So
it.
this is my boilerplate.
Okay.
What you see is what you get. Buyer beware.
Views and opinions.
If you break it, you bought it. And this is one of the things that I try to lead with is that Earth systems are integrated, but our current geoscience data sets and models are not. And our ability to understand the Earth system is heavily dependent on each geoscientist's ability to integrate data and models across time, space, and discipline. So this is where, I really come into the concept of, understanding different aspects of geology, not putting yourself in a niche or a silo early on.
Yeah,
exactly.
And being good at all of it. You can't say, I'm not good at math, or I'm not good at fossils, or I'm not good at hydro or something like that. It's about imagination and ability to integrate and different timescales and different geographies, and also that you're a geoscientist who can talk to any other earth scientist or any other scientist for that matter.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's definitely a major issue in just integrating people's philosophy of breaking down a problem.
Right.
And it could be any problem.
Right.
We have such different philosophies. Geoscientists are driven to kind of be one way, engineers another, and MBAs another, and right, all these different integrated departments and integrated disciplines are all coming together. But where's the fundamental philosophy of everyone in this group to try to find solutions for the problems we have?
And I'm so glad you asked that because that works right into my next slide.
Ha!
Like, who is an explorer?
Transition.
Right?
Totally planned.
Who is an explorer? An explorer is a geologist. And this is all the work that a geologist does. I'm not going to read every single thing up there.
Trap mapping. Love it.
You know. And you have a geochemist. Okay.
Huge role.
And then you have, this will move forward. You have your reservoir engineer.
Yep.
Because ultimately it's all about quantifying your tank and what's in it. And then us, you know. So, but the thing is, I don't necessarily say that I am only that top right quadrant.
Yeah.
You know, the real challenge for all of us going forward, the integration is, and if we want to make ourselves more relevant, is how quickly and how efficiently we can get out of that geophysics space into all the other
Start
quadrants.
blurring the lines.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very cool.
And I mean, I feel like that integrated approach is so important because the way you're going to be able to look at data, right, from all those different perspectives, right, is going to give you a much different solution as opposed to just a geophysicist or just a structural geologist or a geochemist.
Right.
Especially because geochemists, no, not a knock on geochemists, but they like to go down their rabbit holes and they don't like to...
You telling me that we don't like to go down our rabbit
Oh,
hole?
we do. We do. I'm just saying. Just saying.
100%.
But this is where the new frontiers come in for the relevant. You know, we talked a lot earlier, Troy, about the relevance of geophysics in society at large. But before that, even in our own industry, how can everyone in this audience help us in our quest? Right now we have rock physics models for sands, shales, and what about carbonates? What about deeper rocks? What about improvement of deeper subsalt imaging and understanding imaging carbonates? New theoretical software innovations for drilling, production of ultra deep reservoirs, ultra deep water reservoirs.
What do you mean ultra deep reservoirs?
So ultra deep is greater than 3,500 meters.
3,500 meters
of water.
Okay. That's a massive program. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's a new frontier for us.
That's interesting.
3,500 meters.
Yeah, dude.
Holy
that's
smokes.
got to be some thin ocean crust out there.
Not necessarily.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Not necessarily.
Packed with oil. Oily.
Well, depends on the market.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So from here, wanted to move on. That's my little PowerPoint integration arrow. So.
Yes.
Really wanted to hone in a little bit on quantitative skills that we need for geoscience graduates. And I've noticed, that there's a lot of talk right now about people getting into coding.
Right.
But I also think that, just the math proficiency and, the quantitative intelligence, the QI.
We're going to talk about that later with somebody, about the QI.
So if you look at, across the board, all the way from college algebra and stats, down to differential equations and quantitative methods, you see that the PhDs are maintaining, sort of their quantitative, skill sets across the board.
Yeah.
But coming into the industry, especially, are a lot of people who have bachelor's and master's degrees, especially master's degrees.
100%.
And this is from the AGI, and it's a pretty current graph. If you look at that green line for the master's folks, you see how there's a pretty steep drop off in quantitative skills, and this is something that really needs to be addressed in our curricula before we start talking about coding and all that, because ultimately coding is programming, but what are you programming? You have to understand the equations, you have to understand the problem, and so you have to have relevant tool sets, toolkits to break the problem apart, and which comes back to your point about problem solving.
Yeah.
So if we don't have enough of a fundamental quantitative toolkit for geoscience graduates, there's only so much coding they can do.
Wow. putting the cart before the horse almost.
Exactly.
Wow.
That's crazy. That's crazy to think about, that someone with the BS has the same amount of quantitative skills as someone with a master's, almost. Right? That
Pretty
drop
damn
off
close.
is, I mean, it mirrors each other, right?
Right.
It's that's kind of scary.
This is a study that the American Geosciences Institute did, like, right off the board. So what I say to employees and students, early career professionals, is strengthen your own geoscience core curriculum. So we talked earlier about be a good geologist, be a good geochemist, be a good geophysicist, understand where you sit in the business or where you sit in the whole ecosphere. Be a good overall geoscientist, and then get equipped with that analytical toolkit. And then this is where you get more holistic. Instead of being trained to solve one or two problems, you get to be a problem solver across the board by learning how to learn and asking good questions.
Yeah. And I think asking good questions and where we're at in this industry is a really good time. Call it maybe like the window of time.
I think this is a great time of opportunity for us to
100%.
to ask those new questions, because I just said we have to make new rock physics models for new types of reservoirs.
Right.
We have new problems in society.
Right.
And we were talking about this earlier, Troy, that it's not just finding oil and gas, but other social problems like infrastructure, water scarcity, just basic urban planning. There's a huge role for geophysics in these areas.
Yeah, could be applied in all that stuff.
Right.
Make it all better. Integrate with engineers and integrate and elevate society.
Exactly.
Elevate our ability to just limit mistakes, increase success. And this is the window of time, because we're talking about digital transformation, right? And digital transformation is this idea that we are now have the capability of turning the physical world into the digital world.
Yes.
We could turn this room into a digital world right now.
We're already, all of these are sensors, we have everything here.
But we're not losing, but right now is the window of time of knowing and still having the mentors and the giants that we stand on their shoulders that actually were the boots on the ground, right? We still have those people in our lives. They can help us not be disconnected with this digital transformation.
And so what I said something to employees and students earlier, and what I say to employers is invest in employee cross-training in this instead of outsourcing to Google or Amazon. Make them us, don't make us them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm really digging it. Where does it go from here? Because I want to know, how you're doing this, how your ideas.
Let's just go through this really quickly.
Cool.
I really like to propose, it's a topic for another show unto itself.
Let's do it.
Aim on.
But it's
We're
just a data geoscience curriculum. I think every single student of geoscience needs to come into our sphere, our industry, our profession with all of these skills. These are the base skills. Don't just come with math, physics, chemistry, and some quantitative and some coding or something like that.
Sure.
I really think you should be as an undergrad, you need to have a very good, solid, Renaissance foundation in a lot of things. Everything. Not over specialize in the undergrad.
It's that liberal arts mindset, right?
Exactly.
It's like why. You need to take a philosophy course, right? You need to take a sociology course because now your way of, like you said, breaking down problems from those different perspectives, that could be the solution to that problem. Right?
Because if you don't understand the whole solution set, how can you know where to apply your skills?
Yep.
Exactly.
Right?
That's the
or you're cramming it in a model that's old and broken, and you're
That's
just trying to make
angle.
it fit, right? It's like you're trying to, like one of those little kids' toys where you're trying to shove the square into the circle space. It's trying to make it work.
And moving on, then get the specialization as you move into sort of your master's or PhD or something like that. And then you've created this new breed of data geoscientists, ultimately.
A whole new breed of scientists.
Yeah.
The way of breaking this thing down. I think what you just did for me is you may have made a discovery on this show. Instead of challenging the industry on the fact that we don't quite understand the subsurface and our models don't work right now, and that is true, but that's pretty abrasive. Instead of going that route, maybe the route we need to start taking is, how are you breaking down the problem?
Go back to first principles.
Let's go to first order processes of your mind and your ability to break down. Who are your mentors?
Right.
Maybe that's it.
And why?
That's-
Because we have, all of these things like volatile market conditions, demographic changes, our infrastructure is falling apart. There's a huge role that applied geophysics can play in society right now. We are showing, it's embarrassingly apparent that people who want to fix cities, who want to do infrastructure, who want to do urban planning, do not come to earth scientists as sort of like their first order level of discussions.
They put concrete over it. They're like, all right, we're done.
We'll bring in a civil engineer.
And this is why I really think, we need to start talking more with civil and structural engineers and really help them understand this relationship that we have with the earth and how we interact with it. But I wanted to talk a little bit about why community is important and what SEG is doing in this space. And we were talking about infrastructure projects and so Geoscientists Without Borders is a program of the Society of Exploration Geophysicists Foundation. And what we do is support the humanitarian applications of geoscience around the world through grants that are given by large companies, small companies, individuals, and everyone here that is supporting the SEG Foundation. So we have the tools to better our planet, period. Geoscientists have the tools to better our planet right now.
Right.
So I think a big value proposition of SEG is that I challenge every single person listening to the show to go look up Geoscientists Without Borders and look up some of the other programs that the SEG Foundation and SEG have to offer. And really, I'm throwing down the gauntlet. Really here. Let's go. Like, what can you get involved in? What can you do to take one of those initiatives and make it better, make the world better, rather than asking always what your university or SEG can do for you.
Wow. See, there's an excitement in the air because we know there's so much potential to get better. And then we also have people that boots on the ground. We have Maitri, and she's got this organization, and she's got the know-how of what SEG is doing in this program that you're pushing, and all you need is help to voice that out.
Yeah.
Right, and this is why I say, come help us. We have this infrastructure for you, so to speak. We have this program available called Geoscientists Without Borders. Come with your ideas, come with innovations that you want to help with in this space. And there are other things that, of course, the SEG Foundation does, like scholarships. I'm sure that a lot of people here went to school on, SEG Foundation scholarships.
Right.
Also, the lectures, the honorary lectures, distinguished lectures, the e-learn, the electronic learning, all the different, beautiful offerings that the society has. They get involved in it.
Yeah.
And the last thing I wanted to push over here is mentoring 365. This is something that we are collaborating with AGU on, American Geophysical Union, and we were one of the first people to sign on with AGU. It's SEG. It was one of the first geoscience societies to sign on with AGU for this mentoring project, and it's a 10-week virtual mentoring program. And this is a great opportunity.
So is this for students, young professionals,
anybody, mid-career,
that's
late
awesome.
career? You can sign up to be a mentor or a mentee. And so
Really
they collect
cool.
as much metadata about you as possible, and then so that they can match you with the right mentor or mentee. And it's a 10-week structured program where you're forming a relationship with someone else, and you can do this through Skype or phone calls, WhatsApp, anything like that. It's not a person-to-person thing. So this really helps the fact that we're more of a global society, and can
What is
provide
AGU?
American Geophysical Union.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's that huge conference up in San Francisco every year.
Did not know.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have information to definitely get out there. We absolutely support everything you got going on.
We're in need of mentors to volunteer.
You got plenty of mentees, but we need more mentors.
I see a lot of experience out there.
Yes.
I see a lot of experience. Not him,
Need
though.
mentors.
Not the
Need
guy with the red
mentors.
shirt.
No. This one's, that's a different case.
Well, I know that one.
That's a different case. Okay, well, we support it 1,000%.
Absolutely.
And we want to keep track of everything you got going. And if we can use our platform to help with this, absolutely.
Any way we can.
There's a lot to talk about, and I really want to come back to, be as good as you can in this space. Be the best possible geoscientist that you can be. just because you're a generalist does not mean that you can, just get away with, oh, I got a B in, in paleontology or a C in hydro, and I'm just going to skirt through. No, being a generalist means that you understand a lot of things very well and are able to put solutions together. The quantitative aspect of it, understanding where you sit in the community, that this is a community, this is a living, breathing group of people, and that we are here to support you, but we also need support.
Wow. Bringing it live.
So we're going to call this Maitri Part 1 because we're doing this again.
Yes.
We're coming to your house or
Yeah,
we're figuring this
Hey,
out.
come on down to Houston.
Okay. The invite is here.
And now Klaus is here.
Maitri, thank you so much. That was awesome.
Hey.
I'm glad we were able to do this.
And we out.
Out.